The quantum sensors on Luna base detected them first. 3 massive objects decelerating from superluminal velocities at the edge of the solar system. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the readings with growing excitement and dread. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had its answer. We were not alone. But the answer came with warships. Multiple vessels detected. Estimated length of primary ship is 4.2 kilometers. She reported to the gathered officials in Luna base's command center. The holographic display showed the alien fleet's trajectory, a direct course to Earth. General Marcus Rivera of the United Earth Defense Force stood silently, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of tactical displays. 20 years of preparing for this moment, and still humanity didn't know if it would be enough. "Status of the Aegis Protocol?" he asked, his voice steady despite the tension filling the room. "All systems green," responded Colonel Maya Patel, her fingers dancing across the neural interface controls. "Quantum shield generators are powered up, but in stealth mode. Surface defense grid is armed but passive. The Kessler Initiative is ready for deployment." For decades, humanity had maintained a carefully crafted illusion of technological inadequacy. While officially struggling with basic fusion power and traditional spaceflight, secret facilities across the solar system had developed technologies that would have seemed like magic to the public of just 50 years ago. The alien vessels entered high Earth orbit with casual precision, their obsidian hulls reflecting sunlight like polished mirrors. The largest ship positioned itself above the North Atlantic, while its escorts took up positions over Asia and South America. "Incoming transmission," announced the communications officer. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, in multiple human languages." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid figure with iridescent scales and multiple pairs of eyes arranged in geometric patterns. When it spoke, its voice was a harmonious blend of tones that seemed to bypass the ears and resonate directly in the mind. "People of Earth, I am Supreme Commander Anxithal of the Kethera Collective. Your world has been chosen for ascension into our empire. Surrender your sovereignty and accept our guidance, and you shall be elevated. Resist, and you will be reduced to primitive existence before being properly reformed. You have 1 planetary rotation to comply." General Rivera exchanged glances with the UN Secretary-General, who had been silently observing from Earth via quantum entanglement link. A slight nod passed between them. The decision they had prepared for decades ago remained unchanged. "This is General Marcus Rivera of the United Earth Defense Force," he responded, his voice clear and unwavering. "While we appreciate your offer, humanity must respectfully decline. We choose to retain our independence." A ripple passed across the alien commander's scales, perhaps amusement, perhaps anger. "Your species has barely achieved primitive spaceflight. Your cities are vulnerable. Your technology is infant. What gives you the confidence to reject our benevolent offer?" Rivera allowed himself a small smile. "Perhaps we should show you." At his signal, Colonel Patel activated the Aegis Protocol. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, hidden facilities hummed to life. Quantum shield generators emerged from their camouflaged positions, creating an interlocking network of energy fields that could withstand the force of a small supernova. The Kethera vessels immediately charged weapons, but found their targeting systems scrambled by fields of probability distortion. Technology they had believed impossible for a primitive species to achieve. "Impossible," Anxithal hissed. "You have quantum manipulation technology. You have been hiding your true capabilities." "For quite some time," Rivera confirmed. "We detected your scout ships decades ago. We saw how you treated other primitive worlds. So we prepared. Every public failure in our space program was carefully staged. Every apparent technological limitation was a facade." The alien commander's scales shifted to a deeper hue. "You dare to deceive the collective. You will be." "You will do nothing," Rivera interrupted. "Look at your tactical displays. While we've been talking, you've been surrounded." From behind the quantum stealth fields emerged humanity's true fleet, ships powered by zero-point energy, armed with weapons that could tear apart the fabric of space itself. They had been there all along, invisible to even the most advanced Cathera sensors. "This is your only warning," Rivera continued. "Leave Earth space immediately, or we will be forced to demonstrate exactly how primitive we are not." For several tense moments, the Cathera ships held position. Then, slowly, they began to retreat. But before cutting communication, Commander Exethel leaned forward, its multiple eyes focusing intensely. "You have made a grave mistake. The Collective does not forget deception. We will return, and you will learn the price of your arrogance." As the alien ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, General Rivera turned to his staff. "Send word to all commands. Operation Starbreak is now in effect. We have months at most before they return with a full invasion fleet." Dr. Chen looked up from her quantum sensors. "Sir, should we activate the Prometheus protocol?" Rivera nodded grimly. "Yes. It's time humanity showed the galaxy exactly what we're capable of when pushed. And God help anyone who stands in our way." 3 months after humanity's defiant stand against the Cathera Collective, Earth had transformed into a fortress. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, in a facility known as the Prometheus Chamber, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a holographic display of the galaxy, watching as red markers indicated the movement of Cathera warfleets. "They're gathering forces from 17 different sectors," she reported to the assembled military leadership. "Conservative estimates suggest a fleet 6 times larger than their initial force." General Rivera studied the tactical projections with a grim expression. The quantum sensors they'd hidden throughout nearby star systems painted a clear picture. The Cathera were coming, and they were bringing enough firepower to glass a dozen worlds. "Status of Project Hyperion?" he asked, turning to Colonel Patel. Maya pulled up a new hologram, showing a massive orbital structure taking shape above Mars. "The Quantum Forge is operating at full capacity. We'll have the first wave of autonomous defense platforms ready within 2 weeks. But sir," she hesitated, "even with our hidden technology, we're outnumbered significantly." "Numbers aren't everything," Rivera responded, but before he could continue, the facility's quantum alarm system activated. "Unauthorized quantum signature detected," Dr. Chen called out, her hands flying over the controls. "Something's trying to breach our security perimeter." "Wait, this can't be right. The signature isn't Cathera." A shimmer appeared in the center of the chamber, and suddenly a new figure stood among them. Tall, ethereal, with crystalline features that seemed to shift and flow. The facility's security systems instantly activated, but the being raised its hands in a universal gesture of peace. "I am Ambassador Lyra of the Starborn Concordat," it announced in perfect English, "and we've been watching your species with great interest." After a tense security screening that confirmed the ambassador wasn't a threat, Lyra revealed the truth that would change humanity's understanding of the galaxy. The Starborn were one of several ancient species that had been fighting a shadow war against the Cathera Collective for millennia. "Your deception was masterful," Lyra explained, its crystalline form refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. "Few species have managed to hide their true technological level from the Collective. Fewer still have had the courage to stand against them openly." "We had no choice," Rivera responded. "We saw what happened to worlds that surrendered." "Indeed." Lyra's form darkened momentarily. "The Collective doesn't seek allies. They want slaves and resources. But your resistance has created an opportunity we've been waiting for. The Cathera believe themselves technologically superior to all other species. Your quantum technology proves otherwise." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her caution. "You're suggesting an alliance." "More than that," Lyra replied. "We're offering to share technologies that even the Cathera haven't mastered. In return, we need your help to finally break their power over this sector of the galaxy." The ambassador waved a crystalline hand, and a new hologram appeared, showing weapons and defensive systems beyond anything humanity had yet achieved. "Your quantum manipulation technology, combined with our gravimetric weapons, could change the balance of power permanently. Colonel Patel studied the technical specifications with growing excitement. These designs, they could allow us to disrupt their faster-than-light travel capabilities. We could trap their invasion fleet in normal space. Exactly, Lyra confirmed. But more importantly, we've detected unusual quantum resonance patterns in human brain structure. Your species has potential for abilities that neither we nor the Kethera possess. Abilities that could be the key to ending this war. Rivera shared a look with his officers. They had suspected there was something unique about human consciousness. It explained why their quantum technology had developed in unexpected directions. But to hear it confirmed by an advanced species, how many other species are ready to stand with us? He asked. 3 have already pledged support, including my own. More will join once they see humanity hasn't been crushed. The Kethera maintain power through fear and the illusion of invincibility. You've already cracked that illusion. Suddenly, the quantum sensors blared another alert. Dr. Chen rushed to her station, her face paling as she read the data. Sir, we're detecting multiple quantum fractures at the edge of the solar system. The Kethera fleet. They're arriving early. Rivera straightened his uniform, decades of military discipline taking over. How long? At their current velocity, they'll reach Earth orbit in 6 hours. It's at least twice the force we projected. They must have pulled ships from other sectors. Ambassador Lyra's crystalline form pulsed with urgent light. You're not ready for this level of assault. Let me signal our fleet. We can have reinforcements here in 12 hours. No, Rivera said firmly. We can't retreat now. Earth's defenses are stronger than they know. And we have something they don't expect. Desperation and ingenuity. He turned to Colonel Patel. Activate the Kessler Initiative. All of it. Maya's eyes widened. Sir, we haven't tested the full system. The quantum cascade could buy us the time we need, he finished. Dr. Chen, begin charging the quantum shield network to maximum capacity. Colonel, I want every hidden ship and weapons platform online in the next hour. And Ambassador, he turned to Lyra. If you're willing to stand with us, we welcome your tactical insight. The crystalline being's form shifted to a deeper, more determined hue. The Starborn have waited centuries for this moment. We will fight beside you. As klaxons sounded throughout the facility and orders were relayed across the globe, Rivera allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. The Kethera thought they were coming to crush a uppity primitive species. Instead, they were about to face humanity at its most dangerous, backed into a corner, fighting for survival, with nothing left to lose. Send word to all commands, he ordered. Operation Stormbreak is now active. May whatever gods exist have mercy on us all, because we certainly won't have any for them. The Kethera invasion fleet emerged from quantum space like a storm of obsidian daggers, 500 capital ships supported by thousands of smaller vessels. As they approached Earth orbit, Supreme Commander Exethel observed the seemingly empty space around the blue planet with his multiple eyes, searching for signs of the hidden human fleet. No signs of their quantum technology, his sensor officer reported. Perhaps they've chosen to hide on their world's surface. No, Exethel responded, his scales darkening with anticipation. They're here. Begin the assault pattern. Show these deceptive primitives the price of defiance. The Kethera fleet moved into attack formation, their weapons charging with enough power to reduce Earth's surface to molten slag. But before they could fire, space itself seemed to shiver. In the Prometheus chamber, Dr. Sarah Chen activated the Kessler Initiative with trembling hands. Decades of theoretical work, countless simulations, and now they would see if it actually worked. Quantum cascade initiating, she announced. Reality distortion field at maximum power. Across Earth orbit, thousands of microscopic quantum devices activated simultaneously. Each one had been secretly deployed over the past 20 years, creating an invisible web of quantum-entangled particles. When activated together, they didn't just create a shield, they rewrote the local laws of physics itself. On the bridge of the Kethera flagship, Alarms screamed as weapons systems suddenly failed. Angstthal watched in horror as the carefully ordered formation of his fleet began to break apart, ships pulled by gravitational forces that shouldn't exist. "What sorcery is this?" he demanded, his scales pulsing with rage. "How are they manipulating gravity itself?" The answer came in the form of humanity's hidden fleet cloaking around the Cathera Armada. But these weren't conventional warships. They were quantum organic hybrids, their hulls grown from crystalline structures infused with human consciousness. General Rivera stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, humanity's first true quantum battleship. The neural interface connected his mind directly to the ship's systems, making it feel like an extension of his own body. Around him, other captains merged with their vessels, their consciousness expanding to encompass weapons of unimaginable power. "All ships, execute attack pattern Theta," he commanded, his thoughts carrying the order across the quantum network. "Show them what happens when humanity stops holding back." The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. Human ships, guided by the merged consciousness of their crews, moved with impossible precision. The quantum distortion field prevented the Cathera from using their superior numbers effectively, forcing them to fight in smaller groups where humanity's technological edge could prevail. Ambassador Lyra, watching from the Prometheus chamber, witnessed something unprecedented. As the battle intensified, the quantum resonance patterns in human brains began to synchronize. Without realizing it, humanity was tapping into abilities that the Starborn had only theorized about. Direct manipulation of quantum fields through concentrated consciousness. Dr. Chen, the crystalline being called out, its form pulsing with excitement. "Are you monitoring these patterns?" Sarah stared at her readings in disbelief. The neural networks linking human crews to their ships weren't just allowing control, they were creating something new. The quantum field, it's responding to human emotion, to our collective will. In space, the effect became visible. Where human ships concentrated their fire, reality itself seemed to bend. Cathera vessels found their quantum shields failing, their advanced weapons refusing to function. It wasn't just technology anymore. It was humanity's desperate desire for survival, manifesting through quantum mechanics. Supreme Commander Angstthal watched his mighty fleet being systematically dismantled by forces he couldn't comprehend. "This is impossible," he snarled. "They're not just using quantum technology. They're controlling quantum fields directly. No species has achieved this. None." The battle reached its crescendo when a group of human ships, their crews' minds linked in perfect synchronization, created a quantum singularity in the heart of the Cathera formation. Dozens of enemy capital ships were torn apart by forces that defied conventional physics. "All ships, prepare for final assault," Rivera commanded, his consciousness expanded across the quantum battlefield. "Colonel Patel, activate the Prometheus protocol." Maya, her mind merged with the defense grid, complied. Across Earth orbit, quantum generators spun up to maximum power. The fabric of space-time groaned as human consciousness, amplified by technology and driven by desperate courage, reached out to reshape reality itself. What happened next would be debated by scientists for generations. The quantum field surrounding Earth pulsed with energy drawn not from technology, but from the collective will of humanity. For a brief moment, every human linked to the network could feel it. The power to influence reality through thought alone. The Cathera fleet, already battered and confused, found themselves trapped in a quantum storm of humanity's creation. Ships were torn apart, their advanced technology useless against forces that responded directly to human consciousness. "Full retreat," Angstthal ordered, his flagship barely surviving the quantum maelstrom. "All ships, emergency quantum jump." As the surviving Cathera vessels flowed into quantum space, Ambassador Lyra turned to Dr. Chen with an expression of awe on its crystalline features. "Do you understand what you've done? Your species hasn't just defeated them. You've demonstrated an ability that could change the fundamental balance of power in the galaxy." Sarah looked at the quantum field readings, still trying to process what she'd witnessed. We didn't just use the technology, did we? We changed reality itself. Yes, Lyra confirmed. The Kethera rely on technological manipulation of quantum fields. But humans, you can interact with them directly, through sheer force of will. That's why they feared you enough to bring such a massive fleet. They sensed your potential. In orbit, General Rivera watched the last Kethera ships disappear. The victory had been costly. Dozens of human ships destroyed, hundreds of crew lost. But they had proven something extraordinary. Humanity wasn't just ready to join the galactic community. They were ready to reshape it. "Send word to all commands," he ordered, his voice carrying the weight of history. "Operation Stormbreak is complete." But this was just the beginning. The Kethera will return, and next time, they'll bring everything they have. Dr. Chen looked up from her console, her eyes shining with both exhaustion and excitement. "Then we'll be ready. Because now we know what we're truly capable of." In the depths of space, the quantum field still rippled with echoes of human consciousness, a testament to a power that even humanity hadn't known it possessed. The galaxy was about to learn why you should never corner a species that could bend reality itself to survive. News of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy like a quantum shockwave. In the weeks following the battle, ships from a dozen different species appeared at the edge of the solar system, not to attack, but to witness. The species that had suffered under Kethera dominance for centuries wanted to see the world that had achieved the impossible. In a converted chamber beneath Mount Fuji, Earth's first galactic embassy took shape. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a diverse gathering of alien representatives, explaining the quantum resonance patterns discovered during the battle. Behind her, holographic displays showed human consciousness interacting directly with quantum fields. "We still don't fully understand it," she admitted to the assembled delegates. "But it appears that human neural patterns naturally synchronize with quantum fluctuations. When we work together, our collective consciousness can influence reality itself." A delegate from the Mareth Confederation, resembling a sentient cloud of plasma contained within an environmental suit, moved forward. "Our scientists detected similar patterns in human brain activity centuries ago. It's why the Kethera were so intent on subjugating your world quickly. They feared what you might become." General Rivera, standing at the back of the chamber, watched the proceedings with careful attention. The victory had been extraordinary, but the cost was steep. 1/3 of Earth's quantum fleet had been destroyed, and the Prometheus chamber sensors were already detecting massive Kethera fleet movements across the galaxy. Ambassador Lyra appeared beside him, its crystalline form shifting with concern. "They're stripping defenses from 100 worlds to build their revenge fleet. The Kethera have never suffered such a defeat. Their entire empire is built on the myth of invincibility." "Then we've already accomplished something," Rivera responded. "We've shown they can be beaten." "Yes, but at what cost?" Lyra's form darkened. "They will return with a force that could crack your planet in half. Even with your quantum abilities, the numbers." "Numbers aren't everything," interrupted Colonel Patel, approaching with fresh quantum sensor data. "Look at these readings from the battle. Every time our crews faced destruction, their quantum resonance patterns grew stronger. Fear, determination, the will to survive. These emotions amplified our abilities." Dr. Chen joined them, her eyes bright with new understanding. "And it's not just during battle. We've been running tests. Human creativity, imagination, even our dreams. They all create ripples in the quantum field. We're not just accessing this power, we're evolving with it." The discussion was interrupted by a sudden alert from the quantum sensors. A ship had appeared in orbit, but not Kethera. The vessel's design was ancient, its hull covered in patterns that seemed to shift and change as if alive. "The architects," Lyra whispered, its crystalline form pulsing with shock. "They haven't been seen in 10,000 years." The ship's arrival triggered a frenzy of activity. The architects were legendary, one of the first species to achieve quantum manipulation. They had vanished at the height of their civilization. leaving behind only mysteries and fragments of their advanced technology. A single figure materialized in the embassy chamber, tall, composed of shifting geometric patterns that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. When it spoke, its words bypassed sound entirely, appearing directly in the minds of all present. "We have watched and waited," the architect communicated. "For millennia, we searched for a species that could truly understand the quantum nature of consciousness. Humanity has finally demonstrated this potential." The being turned to Dr. Chen, its multidimensional form focusing on her with intense interest. "Your victory was not just about technology. When your people faced extinction, their collective consciousness reached out and grasped something fundamental: the ability to reshape reality through pure will." "But why reveal yourselves now?" Rivera asked, his military instincts still wary despite the being's peaceful demeanor. "Because the Kethera have forgotten the truth we learned long ago," the architect responded. "The universe is not meant to be controlled through force, but understood through consciousness. Their empire is built on destroying this understanding wherever they find it." The being waved what might have been a hand, and the chamber filled with holographic data, secrets of quantum manipulation that made their current technology look primitive. "We offer this knowledge freely, but with a warning. The power to reshape reality carries great responsibility. It must be guided by wisdom, not fear or hatred." Ambassador Lyra stepped forward, its crystalline form resonating with the architect's presence. "You're not just offering technology. You're offering to teach humanity how to fully awaken their quantum consciousness." "Yes," the architect confirmed, "but they must choose this path willingly, understanding that it will change them forever. The question is not whether humanity can defeat the Kethera. It is what humanity will become in the process." Dr. Chen studied the quantum equations floating in the air, her scientific mind already grasping the implications. "This goes beyond weapons or defenses. You're talking about the next step in human evolution. The Kethera fear you because they sense what you could become," the architect explained. "They built their empire by suppressing consciousness evolution in other species, but they cannot stop what has already begun in humanity." General Rivera looked at the assembled alien delegates, seeing hope in their varied faces and forms. "Then we don't just fight for Earth anymore. We fight for the right of all species to evolve as they were meant to." The architect's form pulsed with approval. "Now you understand. The coming battle is not just for survival. It is for the future of consciousness itself in this galaxy. Are you ready to begin?" As the delegates murmured their agreement, Dr. Chen felt a shiver of both excitement and fear. Humanity had started this journey by hiding their technological advancement. Now they were about to take a step that would transform not just their technology, but the very nature of human consciousness. "The Kethera think they're coming to crush a rebellion," Rivera said quietly. "Instead, they're about to face something they've never encountered, a species fully awakening to its true potential." In orbit, the architect's ship pulsed with ancient energy, beginning a process that would reshape humanity's understanding of reality itself. The war for survival was about to become something far more profound, a war for the very future of consciousness in the galaxy. 3 months after the architect's arrival, Earth had become unrecognizable. Quantum fields shimmered visibly in the sky, their patterns reflecting the collective consciousness of humanity as millions learned to access their latent abilities. The Prometheus Chamber, once a secret military facility, now pulsed with the combined mental energy of humans and aliens working together to prepare for the coming storm. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in what they now called the Consciousness Hub, watching as students from a dozen species learned to manipulate quantum fields with their minds. Among them was her daughter Mai, her young consciousness already showing unprecedented ability to reshape reality. "They're advancing faster than we imagined possible," Ambassador Lyra observed, its crystalline form resonating with the quantum energies filling the chamber. "The children especially, they accept these new abilities as naturally as breathing." The architect was right, Sarah replied, watching Mai create complex quantum structures with a thought. "This isn't just about fighting the Kethera anymore. We're evolving into something new. The chamber's quantum alarms suddenly flared to life. General Rivera and Colonel Patol rushed in, their faces grim. "They're here," Rivera announced. The Kethera Revenge Fleet just quantum jumped into the Oort cloud. Initial readings suggest over 2,000 capital ships. Through the quantum network linking human minds across the solar system, Sarah felt the collective surge of determination. Fear was there too, but it no longer controlled them. They had spent 3 months preparing, learning, evolving. "All commands, initiate Operation Transcendence," Rivera ordered, his consciousness expanding through the quantum field. Across Earth orbit, the rebuilt human fleet took position, their crews now fully awakened to their quantum abilities. They were joined by ships from 24 alien species, all linked through the same quantum consciousness network. Supreme Commander Exethel stood on his flagship's bridge, watching the sensor readings with his multiple eyes. The quantum distortions around Earth had grown so powerful that they were visible even at this distance. "Begin the assault," he ordered. "No mercy, no survivors. Destroy their world and their abomination of consciousness with it." The Kethera fleet advanced like an unstoppable tide of darkness. But this time, humanity was ready. As the enemy ships entered range, every human connected to the quantum network reached out with their consciousness. Reality itself began to bend. In the consciousness hub, Dr. Chen coordinated with the architect and other alien scientists. Their minds merged through the quantum field. "Now," she commanded, "everyone together." Across Earth orbit, human consciousness synchronized on a scale never before achieved. Children in schools, workers in offices, families in homes, all joined their minds through the quantum network. The power of their collective will manifest it as visible waves of energy rippling through space. The Kethera fleet's first volley of weapons fire simply ceased to exist, erased by human consciousness rewriting local physics. Their quantum shields failed as reality itself rejected their existence. Ships began to break apart, their atomic bonds dissolved by the power of unified thought. "Impossible." Exethel raged as his flagship systems failed. "No species can have this much control over quantum fields. No consciousness can be this powerful." "You still don't understand." Rivera's voice echoed through every Kethera ship's communications. "We're not just one consciousness anymore. We're humanity unified, evolved, transcended. And we're not alone." The alien allies revealed themselves, their ships merging with the quantum field generated by human consciousness. The Starborn's crystalline vessels pulsed with energy. The Mareth's plasma ships created tears in spacetime. And above them all, the Architect's ancient vessel began to glow with power that defied comprehension. What followed wasn't just a battle. It was a transformation of reality itself. The combined consciousness of humanity and their allies reshaped the very fabric of space around the Kethera fleet. Ships weren't just destroyed. They were unmade, their quantum structures dissolved by the power of unified will. Exethel watched in horror as his mighty armada crumbled before forces he couldn't understand. "What have you become?" he demanded. "We've become what all species were meant to be," Dr. Chen replied through the quantum field. Her consciousness expanded to encompass the entire battlefield. "Free, unified, evolved. The very thing your empire has tried to prevent for millennia." The Architect's vessel pulsed with ancient power, and a wave of quantum energy swept through the Kethera fleet. But instead of destroying them, it did something far more profound. It awakened the suppressed consciousness potential in every Kethera mind. Exethel fell to his knees as millennia of genetic and technological suppression shattered. For the first time, he felt his own consciousness expand, felt the true potential that his species had denied themselves in their quest for power. "The age of empires is over," the Architect communicated to all present. "The age of consciousness has begun." The remaining Kethera ships hung motionless in space, their crews experiencing their first taste of true quantum consciousness. The battle was over, not through destruction, but through transformation. In the consciousness hub, Mai looked up at her mother with eyes that seemed to see through multiple dimensions. "What happens now?" she asked. Sarah smiled, feeling the quantum field pulse with possibilities. "Now we help everyone wake up. Not just humanity, not just our allies, but every species, even the Kethera. Because that's what humans do best. We adapt, we grow, and we help others do the same." General Rivera stood at the quantum communications array, broadcasting across the galaxy. "To all species under Kethera control, the chains are broken. Your consciousness is your own. Join us in building something new." As the message spread, quantum ripples of awakening consciousness began to echo across the stars. Humanity had not just won a war. They had helped birth a new era of galactic evolution. The future would bring challenges, but they would face them together, united in consciousness, infinite in potential. Ambassador Lyra's crystalline form pulsed with joy. "Your species wasn't just meant to survive," it said. "You were meant to help the galaxy transcend." Above Earth, the quantum fields shimmered with the combined consciousness of 1,000 species, each one awakening to their true potential. The war was over. The real journey was just beginning.